I know a lot of people aren't in favor of the 12-team playoff, but the realities have changed a little bit. So, does it suck to lose week one in a non-con game? Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it matter at all? No.
Not really.
You can go 8-4. If your 4 losses are non-con games, you won the ACC and you're in the playoffs. So losing to Georgia, like you said, it's more of a measuring stick than anything. I mean, you don't want to go out there and do like a 28-7 thing like last year, but
Right.
and it goes for Georgia too, because Georgia could lose. You've been watching football a long time, like I have. There are no guarantees, so I'm not guaranteeing Georgia will win. Georgia could lose this game. It'd mean the same thing for Georgia that would mean for Clemson. Really, it means you better get better quick, fast, and in a hurry. But your season won't be over. With the one non-con loss. Again, if it's a blowout either way, Clemson blows out UJ, Georgia blows out Clemson. Maybe that's a little different because you get a bunch of red flags there.
Right.
But just the loss in and of itself being a non-con loss, it really won't even hurt either team rankings-wise 8 weeks from now when the playoff stuff starts to come out because it'll be a quality loss.
Right.
So you just, like you said, you want to look competitive. You don't want to look outmatched, either team.
Right. And, it sucks to say that as a Clemson fan because, last matchup in Charlotte, we went in there, I went in there as a Clemson fan confident, right? And it ended up being a really close game. Obviously, no offensive touchdown scored. You guys, took the turnover to the house, and that was the end of the game, 10-3, right? So no offense from either side in that game, but that's kind of where we're at as a Clemson program right now. When you're playing the number one team in the country, first game of the season, and how inept Clemson's offense has been, they just got to show life again. And if you can show life against a team like Georgia, I think that sets you up for some momentum, especially that first part of that season. We just talked about Clemson's first 5 games. I mean, you go UGA, then you go home at App State, and then you got home against NC State, right?
Yeah, either them or another nobody, but then NC State and then
NC State and then Florida State. Away. You got to go to Florida State. So your first 5 games of the season are tough. They're not easy. They're not gimme games, and so especially that first one. So you got to go in there, and from game one, from snap one, from jump, your offense has got to look completely different than it has for 3 seasons. That's a tall ask. That's a big order. But Clemson cannot, from a narrative standpoint, from a momentum standpoint, heading into those next 4 games, they cannot get blown off the field against Georgia. They can't.
Yeah. If I'm a Clemson fan, I'm looking at it the same way. I hope we win. I want to win, but we can't get blown out, and we can't turn the ball over. Y'all turned the ball over in every game last year. Every
game, Lou.
Yeah.
Every game last year. We talk about how Clemson kind of turned the corner the last 5 games of the season, and we went on that win, and we beat Notre Dame, and we beat Kentucky at the end in the bowl game, and everybody's happy. And Cade Klubnik led that game-winning drive against Kentucky in the bowl game, and that'll push us momentum into next season and into spring and yada yada yada, right? But to your point, every single game. And the only reason that we won as many games as we did last year is because our defense was great, and they produced a lot of turnovers of their own, thankfully.
Yeah.
Because we put them in terrible positions game after game. I mean, the thing about Clemson last year is it wasn't just turnovers. Like, you go to the Florida State game, right? Like, it was Clemson's about to pull this off, right? And then it's a sack, fumble, 70-yard touchdown, overtime, we lose the game.
Yeah.
Like, it was just the most catastrophic turn. It wasn't just turnovers. Like, they were catastrophic. I mean, you think about the Duke game, week 1, goal line, goal to go, fumble going into the end zone, fumble going into the end. Like, what are we doing? Like, the amount of times that we fumbled, like, inside the 5-yard line going into the end zone was insane last year. It was crazy. And you got to clean that up going, because it's like I was talking earlier before you hopped on. You go out against Georgia and you start turning the ball over, it's going to get ugly real fast.
Yeah.
Real fast. So the turnovers, I mean, I don't even know what that was last year. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure teams have done it before, but it can't be that normal to turn the ball over in every single game of a season,
Yeah,
including the
but
whole.
because some of turnover is just dumb luck. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not a necessary. Like, okay, a quarterback throws the ball right to a DB. Yeah, that's on the QB. But
Right.
that's not every turnover. A certain percentage of turnovers are just dumb luck. So you would think that over the course of the season, you would avoid that dumb luck once out of 13 games. But
Yeah.
Clemson couldn't do it. It was the weirdest thing. It became a running joke really last year when you were watching the Clemson game. You're like, have they turned it over yet? No, not yet. Well, they must be about to then.
Yeah, I mean that
It was
that
weird.
might have been the most sure bet of the college football season last year. Hey, just go ahead and bet that Clemson's going to turn the ball over. That's a
Yeah.
win every single time. Collect your money. But yeah, I don't know what that was. But it can't continue to this year because the first five. I mean, you start doing that this season, and you go out against Georgia and get your doors blown off. You risk your season being over, like you're talking about, within the first 5 weeks of the season. At least
Yeah,
anything.
I don't know about any. I don't know about any particular game, but I don't think that's going to happen again for Clemson. I mean, turnovers in general are so random. Like you can go back and look at like turnover stats from year to year, like a team that led the nation in causing turnovers one year, and like the next year they're like 40th. Like, did they somehow forget how to intercept the ball? No, it's so turnovers are so random that it's hard to repeat that good or bad. Like in other words, it's hard to lead the country in turnovers 2 years in a row, and it's hard to lead the country in turnovers forced 2 years. Like both of those things are there's just too much randomness involved. There's no way that happens to Clemson again.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But we'll see.
College football is even more exciting with some action on the line. And the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Let's start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread. I've got a 40-year track record. In fact, in 2023, at $100 played per game, you would have netted over $9,300. And guess what? I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill, our ace in the hole, show stopper from Wager Talk. 6 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick, which went 21-5 against the spread the last 2 seasons. I repeat, 21-5 against the spread. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Steve Dace and Matt Zemek. Become a YouTube channel member or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2024 a winner now.